Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm seeing a lot of people introduce themselves in the chat. Thanks for saying hello. I see a bunch of people from Europe and from a couple of folks from the US as well. Thanks for calling in wherever you are and whatever time it is. It's still early morning here in San Francisco, but glad you could join us. I'm going to put today's resources here in the chat so that you have access to it. And yeah, please feel free to keep introducing yourselves if you didn't get a chance yet. And we'll keep repeating that link for today's resources as well. So as I normally do, I'm going to be presenting from a Padlet. So all the resources are here on this landing page for you, so you can access it later or follow along as we're going along today. Um, I'm going to use a feature that's built into Padlet that's really fun. You can play a Padlet as a slideshow by clicking on the play button here. And it's a really nice feature because you don't have to do any extra work to put your Padlet into a slideshow. It'll just play automatically with each post turning into a slide. Another thing that I love about it is it'll show graphics and it'll even show videos, PDFs. All of your attachments will be inserted and playable. And it'll also dynamically update if you have people actively adding to your board. So today we're going to, first Wednesday of the month, as usual, we're going to talk about new features in August. And then I'll share more at the end too, but we have a bunch of sessions this month, kind of some extra sessions for many folks in the US. We're going back to school. And I know for folks in other countries, you often had a break as well and are coming back to school, even though it's not always the beginning of the school year everywhere. But hopefully we'll have a few more resources. We always have a lot of things brewing here at Padlet. So excited to have more sessions this month. We're going to have it on every Wednesday, actually, in August. And we'll have multiple times as we usually do. And then at the end of the month, we'll also have some sessions in different languages, in Portuguese, Spanish, and Japanese, in case that's helpful to you all. I'm going to stick our resources one more time in the chat as people are still joining. And just wanted to introduce myself. I know some of you have been here before, so welcome back if you have been to some sessions before. But if you're new, we're excited to share a lot with Padlet. We do these every month. My name is Zareen Levien. I'm the Education Marketing Manager here. I've been here for about a year and a half now at Padlet, but before that I spent a long time in public education as a classroom teacher and then many years as a digital learning coach. And those were some great years where I got to observe so many teachers and so many classrooms across all grade levels and got to see how students are using digital tools like Padlet and others. And these are some of my students from many years ago in my old room. And we also have Chelsea here on our support team. Do you want to say hello?
Hey, yes, I am Chelsea with Operations Support. A lot of times, if you are emailing into hello@padlet.com, you are going to be talking to me. And today I am going to be answering questions in the Q&A. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, and thanks so much. We're really lucky to have Chelsea here. She knows so much and is on our amazing customer support team. You might have emailed with her in the past, or maybe you will in the future if you haven't communicated with us yet on that line. But yeah, please keep adding to the chat. We'll keep an eye on that. But if you have a more pressing question, putting that in the Q&A will help us find it and get to it more quickly. Okay, so a simple agenda today. These sessions are designed to be pretty quick, 30 minutes to kind of give you all the updates. We've taken that feedback. People have mostly said that they enjoy these shorter sessions. We might experiment with having the occasional longer session as well, as there's always a few people who like those longer times. But this is a quick 30 minutes to get you up to speed and up to date on the newer things happening in Padlet. So I have three new features that I'm going to talk about today, and then we always have our resources you can go back and look at and extend your learning as well. We always record these sessions, so we will share a recording and a certificate with you after the session so that you can always review things if you want. Oh, great. I see some more people saying hello in the chat. Welcome from a few more countries there. That's great to hear. Okay, I'll keep putting this link back in the chat so you have that. So those of you who are newer to Padlet, I know some of you have been using Padlet for a while, some for many years, and some are much newer to Padlet. Padlets are very flexible, which makes them really fun to use and to talk about and be creative with, but sometimes makes it feel a little bit complicated at first. So wanted to break things down for you. I'll do a really quick intro, and then for the beginners, I'll also point you to some resources, some more learning resources at the end if you want to go deeper into really how you make Padlets and how you get started. But the first thing to know about Padlet is that anyone can go to padlet.com and make a free account, and you can get started and use all the features that I'm showing you today. We don't limit any of our features. And the only thing you will be limited in is how many Padlets you can make. So you can make 3 Padlets for free. And then if you find that you want more, you can explore some of our subscription types. Or your school can explore having a Padlet for Schools account, which is a great way to get everyone onto Padlet using it together. When you're on Padlet, probably the most important page is this make page, and this is where you can make new things. So you can make a blank board, and that looks like this. The first thing you'll be asked is what format you want to make it in. So columns or rows. We have a few new formats that I'm going to talk a little bit more about. Table, timeline, just got an update as well. So lots of fun ways to present information on a Padlet. And then once you make a Padlet, you can easily share this with a group of students or adults. And then people can come to this plus button and add posts. You can add things in text, or you can use any of our attachment types. All these attachment types are built right into the board, so you don't need an extra app or functionality to record video, to have a screen recording or audio, or even make an AI image or link to something you already have. So a lot of really nice options in here that are built in, easy to use. I've even used this with students as young as kindergarten, and they have a great time on here as well. So really flexible for all ages. And the other thing I wanted to mention on this make page is there's examples right here with this button. So if you want to explore a little bit and see some other Padlets that people have made, and same thing for Sandbox. Sandbox is our whiteboard tool, and there's examples here. So the Sandbox tool is really fun if you haven't tried it yet. You can make things like comic strips, or you can upload things, or you can just draw directly on a whiteboard. So a lot of fun things you can do there. Okay, let me bring us back here we'll jump right into our new features. So the first one I wanted to share is a map, and I thought this might be fun for us all to participate on. So I'm just put this direct link into the chat, and you can add your own post here. And so my question for you all, since a lot of people have been on vacation in the summertime here in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, and maybe in the Southern Hemisphere as well. So if you have been on a recent vacation, if you want to post something about that, or if you have a future vacation plan, or even a dream vacation where you'd like to go. So come over here and click on the plus button. And then first you're going to put in the name of the location. So I was recently on the East Coast, so I'm going to put that in. And then the next thing I can do, I can write more information, or I can access any of these attachment types. So I'm just going to come in here and search for something to find an image. And I can add that onto my post. You can do just text, or you can explore those attachment types and then publish when you're ready, and it'll make a post for you. I see I already have a post over here, perfect, with an image of Seattle. So go ahead and add your post. So this can be a place where you just went on vacation, maybe you're planning to go on vacation, or you're dreaming about a place that you want to go to. So I'll give you a minute to try this out. So come to that link and click on the plus button to get started. Great, so you have the link there. Great, I see some posts coming in here. So this is one of the many formats that we have in Padlet. I was showing you when you make a new Padlet, I'll come back over here. When you make a new Padlet, one of the options here is map. So you can always start with a map, and it's really nice because it's not just a background, it's actually an interactive map as well. So I can zoom down into even different states or cities, or I can get really localized And so if you wanted to do a map just about your city or your town, you can do that as well. It's all based on Google Maps, so it dynamically updates as you zoom in and out. And you can do images you can see on some of these posts, or you can do any of those other attachment types like video or audio, or have students record their own voices talking about a different place that they're learning about. Just gonna reload this. Oh, I see a lot of new posts coming up. Okay, great. Thank you for participating here. Feel free to add more than one post if you'd like to, or experiment with some of the other attachment types if that's fun for you. Ooh, Iceland, that looks exciting. So I always get excited hearing about everyone's ideas. I would love to go to all of these places as well. Um, the next thing I wanted to share is talking about formats. I mentioned how we have a few new formats. So one really fun thing you can do with Padlets is you can change the format even after there's posts and content on here. So this is something I do sometimes to kind of see what would be the best way to present information. So maybe I start with a map and then later I could change it to something else. So today we're going to show you how it looks as a table. So you can keep posting on here, but I'm going to change the format to a table and show you what this looks like. To do that, I'm going to come to Settings, and then I'm going to come to Formats right here. And I'm going to come to this new format called Table. One reason I might want to do that is it's going to be a little easier to view them all the posts at once. I can easily kind of sort things and see who's already submitted things if I'm thinking about my class, and I might be able to see who's missing, or at a quick glance, see everything. Oh yeah, thanks for that reminder, Chelsea. We're not able to unmute you if you have a question. So if you have a raised hand, please type your question and that would be really helpful. So you can see I just changed all these posts into the table format, and now I can scan and see everything at a glance. I can see people's names here, the locations, and so it's more easy to kind of consume everything at once. So you could do this on any Padlet. You could have people post, whether it's on a wall or a map or anything, and then if you're reviewing it later, you could change it into a table. And then if I want to bring it back to a map, I can do that too. I can just come back over here and switch it back to map, and it stays, all the posts stay where they were. It's just a different way to view the Padlet. So coming back to table, I'll show you a few other things you can do on table. So I still have all the controls that I usually do about posts. The posts are just stretched out into rows. So I can do something like I can color code things. So this could be useful if you're reviewing student work and maybe there's a few students you want to check in with. So I can just tag those maybe with a different color. The other thing I could do is I could put a reaction or comment on a post if I wanted to. So I could comment right there, and then it'll show up in my table as well as having a comment. And if I want to add a new field, that's also really handy in tables. It's right there for you. So I'll say, I'll add another question. What do you love about this place? I have also multiple field types. So if I wanted to have a number or a date or even a multiple choice question where people have to select something, I can add that as part of the post prompt. So once I create a new field, it'll show up as a new column here. Um, and then one more thing I'll show you, you can also sort this whole table by coming into settings. So if I come to settings, I have my sort by, and drag and drop just means the order it was originally put in, but then I could also sort by subject. If I wanted to see, now I can see all of these places alphabetically. So it helps me just stay organized and see things all at once. So we're going to be adding a lot more things to make tables even better, but this is kind of our first version, and even in this form, hopefully it can be useful for looking at information all together in one place or staying organized. One more thing I'll share is you can turn any Padlet into like a submission form. We get this question a lot about how can I have students submit assignments privately to me? And there's a few different ways you can do that on Padlet. So the way I'll show you right now is under this share arrow. There's something called a submission form here. So I'm going to come to submission form, and I'm going to copy this link. So I'm going to put this in the chat. And I'll show you what it looks like here. If you feel like submitting another location, you can do that. And now this is what this link looks like. So if I wanted to have students submit something to me privately, I could have them complete this form. So I'll do just a test here. And then after I submit the form, it can give me a confirmation page. That's also a choice. If I want to have them land on the Padlet afterwards, I can. But if I want to just have a private submission, I can use that submission form. And then I still have this board that has everything else on it. So I can still see this, or maybe next week after everyone submitted their assignments, maybe I want to share this board with them. And maybe I want to put it back in the map format, which is a lot of fun. So you have some different options for keeping those submissions more private. The one thing to note is when it's not in the map format, it doesn't ask you for a location right up front. So that's why some things are landing in Antarctica here, but you can always go back and edit these posts and then add in a location if you wanted to right there. The other fun thing you can do on these is you can, let me see if I can do this. You can drag a post and drop it to the place you want it. It's a little bit finicky right now, but I can drag those posts around on the map themselves as well. Um, Great. Okay, so that gives you a few more options on why you might want to use a table. I'll show you another one as well, another example. Here's another example where it's not in a map format, but it was a wall where students were adding their own math word problems. And again, it's visually very exciting and interesting to look at. But as a teacher, if I wanted to kind of scan and see who's made their submissions and have everything at a glance, a table format might be more helpful. So I'm going to change this one into a table. And now I have things at a glance. I could sort by subject if I wanted that alphabetical. I can see all the attachments in a little bit more organized format. Okay, great. Well, and here's one more table. So this is again, maybe collecting assignment, that last use case that I was talking about. Students could submit something that they have on Google Docs. So in these cases, a lot of these were slideshows. And you could submit links and other things as part of that collection, and then that'll all show up here in your table. So that's something I think is a little bit unique about Padlet's tables, is that all the multimedia is built right in there, and you can view it and you can access it right there from the spreadsheet or table. Okay, lots to dig into there. Next, I want to show you some of the new things we have on Padlet TA. So if I come back to Padlet, Padlet TA is a new tool that we have right up here at the top, or you can just go directly there at ta.padlet.com. I think I have that handy here. Yes, I'll just stick that in the chat if you'd like to poke around in here. Padlet TA is totally free. You can make unlimited documents on this site. What you do here is you can make things like a lesson plan or worksheet, or all of these different things, a quiz even, and it's all created with AI, and you give it a prompt and then it will make that document for you. You can then export the document if you want it to be a PDF or a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc. And if you sign in with your Padlet ID, you can also set up your teacher profile. So my teacher profile currently says I teach ninth grade biology, which I used to do a long time ago. And once you have that set up, it'll start to give you some suggestions based on that subject area so that you can try things out. So for example, it's asking if I want to do a multiple choice quiz about genetics vocabulary. So I could type in this information, whatever I want the prompt to be, or I could use one of those recommendations and then it'll type it in for me. Another nice thing I can do on TA is I can start with a link. If I have a lesson plan or materials already, then I can start with that link. So here it is generating a quiz for me. In my teacher view, it's showing me the correct answer, which is really handy. And then I have some options for exporting. So I can export this in a number of different places. I can put it on a Padlet or into a doc, or I can even make an interactive Google form quiz that is auto-graded with those correct answers for my multiple choice quiz. Or I could print it out if I want to export it to a PDF or Word doc or to Kami. The fun new thing that just launched very recently is there's now a student play link. So if I copy that link, it takes that same quiz, but now it makes it interactive. So I can click on the right answer here, and I can answer all these questions, and then I can check my answer. So now we have these kind of interactive games. We have quizzes, and we also have matching activities, and there's also fill in the blank activities. So I'm going to show you those right now. I'm going to give you 3 examples in the chat for you all to click on and play with. So these are the interactive links from things that I've already created. So let me go in there as well. So this first one that I shared in the chat is another interactive multiple choice quiz. So you can give this one a try. So this is all about world capitals. So I can come here and answer these questions and then hit submit when I want to get feedback. Currently, we don't have a way to save the answers of the students, so it's not meant to be an assessment. It's meant to be right now a practice tool and a fun way for students to kind of practice answering quiz questions and get to know the material better. But in the future, we will also have the ability to grade these, store the information, and use it as a real assessment also. So for now, just practice, but in the future, it'll have some assessment capabilities as well. Great. Well, thanks for sharing. I see some more things in the chat. That's great. So that was the first one I shared. The next one is fill in the blank. So this is another interactive format. This is about the book, The Giver, and I asked for vocabulary words about this. So now I can come and I can drag things here. So let's see, I can come in here and take a word. And when I think I know the answer, I can drop it into that fill in the blank section. And when I'm ready, I can get some feedback and answer the questions. I'll show you what the prompt looked like for this one. So I clicked on fill in the blank, and then I asked for vocabulary from the book, The Giver, and then it outputted this using AI. And then the third one I have here is a matching game. So this is for our folks who maybe have been using Padlet for a long time. This is a little bit of history about Padlet. So the prompt is here to try to figure out when these things happened in the history of Padlet. And same thing, you can submit it when you're ready and get some feedback. You can try as many times as you want. Again, this is meant to be a kind of a fun practice for students to practice content that you're learning about. And we got some questions on this in the last session, so I wanted to link in these two. These are more matching examples, just to show you a little bit more about kind of what it can do. You can do a lot of really fun visuals. So some of these could be for younger students, so that's animals and their habitats, or you could do something more complex, like balancing a chemistry equation, or you could do something like government vocabulary, so having terms and then matching them with their definition. So just another way for students to do something interactive to get them engaged in a different way while you're still kind of presenting the content and the standards that you want to teach. So that's some fun additions, and we're going to keep adding lots of new things to Padlet TA. The third thing that I want to talk about is Padlet Mini. So Padlet Mini is something that we just refreshed and made even better and clearer. It's actually an extension that you have for your browser. So it allows you to be anywhere on the web and then add something to a Padlet. So it can be really handy for gathering up resources. So for example, if I was in San Francisco, maybe I'm searching for San Francisco museums, and I found these links and I want to add them to a Padlet. I could click on each one of them, copy the link, go over to my Padlet, paste the link in, and add a post that way. And Padlet Mini is just a quick shortcut to allow you to do that. So if I am here on this page and I want this one on a Padlet, I can come here to my Padlet Mini extension that I already put in my browser. So when I click on that, it's going to ask me to choose a Padlet, or I can make a new one. So I'm going to make a new one. I'll create the Padlet, and then it made the post for me and I hit publish. And I can keep doing that on many different websites. I can even do that in my search. So I can right click on a link and I can add it to Padlet Mini that way. And again, now I already have a Padlet, so I'm going to click it here. If I had sections in my Padlet, I could choose that when I post it to keep things organized. And I can also get links. I mean, images. I just showed you links. If I were looking at an image and I want to share this image, for example, I could right click on that, add it to my board, And you can see it's just a much quicker process to add a bunch of resources, images, links, materials for my students. So now when I come to view the Padlet, I have all these links. And I was able to just add those really quickly. Okay. Oh, great. Yeah, so I see a few questions about the games. One question is, can the games be embedded online LMS versus just the link? Right now, it's just the link, but pretty soon we'll be able to kind of embed those and let you use them anywhere. So that's something that should be coming soon. And then you can also translate things into different languages. So this is a feature that's in beta right now for Padlet. We have a tool, when you click on your avatar here, and I go to my settings. Sorry, there's a few steps for translate because it's not fully out yet, but you can turn on beta features and then you can have access to translation. So I already have that turned on. So now I can come to my three dots here and I can translate into a different language. So I can come here and put this into Spanish. And then it's going to change some of the, actually, I don't really have any text on here, but it changed my title here. But it would change this whole board into a different language. And that works on Padlet. For TA, while there isn't, you can set your language in the profile right here, the change language, and then you can prompt in any language. So if I asked for a worksheet and put my prompt in a different language, then it would output in that language as well. But once you have the output, it's not going to be translatable yet, but hopefully those will be coming soon. And is Hebrew included here? I believe it is. Yes, so I believe we have Hebrew here. And if there's any languages that you find missing, I believe that's here, if I'm looking at that right. And if there's any languages we're missing, we're always adding new languages as well. But if you prompt in Hebrew, it should give you an output in Hebrew as well. Yes, great question about how do I get the Padlet Mini extension? I'm going to give you the direct link to that right now. So here is the link to download Padlet Mini. I'll click on that here too. I already have it installed, so it already says installed, but you'll have an install button for Chrome, and you can just add that directly to your browser. Yeah, I hope you have fun with Mini. It's a great little tool. Okay. Any other questions that we want to, Chelsea, anything that you want to highlight, or if you have any questions, I see Chelsea's busy typing some answers already here. Oh, and I see another one in the chat. I'll grab this one. So my institution doesn't have an account. What is the advantage to having an instructor account and having 200 students versus just getting a basic account? Oh yeah, great question. So let me go quickly to my subscriptions here. So yeah, so you have some options for individual accounts where you can get either a gold account that has 20 Padlets or a platinum account that has unlimited Padlets as a teacher. The question was asking about these school accounts and classroom accounts. So these have a few advantages. The platinum account works great. And if your school, isn't ready to purchase Padlet, getting that is a great starting point. A couple of the advantages that the school accounts have is in addition to getting unlimited Padlets for you as a teacher, you have unlimited student accounts. So your students can have unlimited Padlets as well. Instead of just having this one account for you that has unlimited Padlets, you can add all of your students to your school account. You can have kind of oversight over them, see what they're doing, and then they can create things as well. So it's a great way for them to be creative and collaborative. You can make copies of Padlets that are templates for them to do assignments, and that's really a great advantage. There's also some integrations that are possible. So if you have a learning management system or a sign-in system, like if you sign in with Google or Microsoft, you can connect that up. So your students can just sign in with the regular login, and teachers as well with the regular login you already have, and then that'll automatically make your Padlet account. And then also, obviously, it's just having more people using Padlet together with you, teachers in your building, just adds to the learning and adds to kind of the learning for students and the ability to collaborate. So if you have the capacity or if you just want to learn more about those school accounts, I'll put this direct link in here and you can request a demo. We'd be happy to talk with you about that. But starting with the free account is a great place to learn about Padlet, and then going into the individual accounts, really useful as well once you can make unlimited Padlets. Oh, yes. and embedding in Canvas. Great. I see some people already chatting about this. Thanks for chatting. Yes, so Padlets can be embedded into other places. So for example, if I come to my sharing arrow here, I have some embed links here, embedding it in my blog or website. So that's kind of the simple way to embed something into Canvas or to embed it in your website. However, when you have a Padlet for Schools account, we have a special link with an LMS like Canvas where you can just add a Padlet directly from Canvas. So you don't have to cut and paste code directly from your Canvas. It'll connect up to Padlet and you can click on Padlet and drop the Padlet directly in there and it'll be interactive right within Canvas. So really, it's a great way to kind of keep that flow really easy and simple for students. Great questions. Okay, before we wrap up here, we're already at time. It always happens so quickly. I would really love to get your feedback. It's always helpful to hear what you want to learn about next or what was most useful, so we can make the sessions better and better and more kind of tailored to your requests. I already answered some of these questions, but I'll point out some other resources as well. We have our Padlet Sessions page. So pretty soon we'll have links to register for the other sessions in August. So we'll have a bunch this month, so hope to see you at some of those in the future. All of the videos from past sessions are also here, so lots of information you can dig into. And then I also want to point out we have 2 PD courses. Hopefully we'll have more soon. But for those who want to learn more about Padlet in general, our PD 101 course, or specifically about AI, including Padlet TA and some of the other AI tools we have, you can complete these courses at your own pace and then get a certificate. And all of that's completely free, so feel free to check out all of that. I'll put the direct link into the chat for those PD courses in case that's helpful. And then one more time, I'll give you the landing page for today's resources so you can go back and look at anything and review anything. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today. We hope to see you at some of the other sessions later in August. Okay, thanks everyone. Oh, one last thing. If you have a question that we didn't answer, feel free to email us at hello@padlet.com or put that in the feedback form and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, bye-bye everyone.